So here we have matter versus antimatter. This is very interesting. Matter, antimatter. So let's say Earth is represented as matter and heaven is represented as antimatter. We have an atom, a classic atom that has electrons, negative charges that orbit around a nucleus consisting of a proton and then a neutron, which is neutrality. And then we have the very interesting positron, which is the complete reciprocal. It's the opposite of the atom. But in this sense, it is orbited. We have a nucleus that is orbited by positive charges. So the electron, this is where we get electrical current from, consisting of an electrical charge, an electron, positive, negative, electromotive force, a potential difference which we get voltage from. There has to be a positive, there has to be a difference, a potential between a positive and a negative charge. So we have negative here and we have positive here. So think of this in a sense as Earth and heaven. Remember in the previous diagram, heaven and earth, I believe, was intertwined. It was one, okay? So heaven that contains more positrons than electrons. Earth contains more electrons, and it's actually scientifically proven. Scientists or physicists will actually tell you that the number of electrons seems far greater than that of positrons. So could it be, is it possible that at the disengagement of heaven from earth, at the fall, is it possible that heaven carried more positrons than electrons because earth carries more electrons than positrons? So here we see a reciprocal, or sort of like a mirror image between heaven and earth. Heaven and earth are sort of like mirroring each other, and they are complete opposites. So heaven positive, earth negative. Hold that in mind, because this is going to take us to something mind-blowing. Remember that. Heaven positive, earth negative. So here again, different diagram. We have positron, electron. So we have the spin up of the positron, we have the spin down. And physicists actually tell us that it is very likely that electrons and positrons are actually a single entity that is moving up and down in space-time. They're moving forward in time, they're moving backward in time, they're moving up and they're moving down within the time-space continuum, which is very, very interesting, because we read in the account with Jacob in Genesis, Jacob's ladder, as he lay his head on a rock, and there was a ladder of spiritual beings that were ascending from the earth. Remember, they weren't descending down first, they were first ascending from earth up and down. And then we also have Jesus, when he was baptized in the river Jordan, he comes up from the waters and the Spirit of God descends upon him. And we see the Jacob's ladder again, angels ascending and descending upon the Son of Man. He actually said it himself. And here we see science, physics actually showing us that the very fundamental building blocks of our universe, the electrons, which I believe, which they say is dominant within our earth realm, and I believe positrons, which is probably dominant within the heavenly realm, and when they re-engage, we're going to have an equilibrium of electrical charges and positive charges. This is mind-blowing, because physics is actually agreeing with what the Word of God says. Jacob's ladder. This basically is Jacob's ladder, people, in physics. There's a spin up electron and there's a spin down positron. Matter, antimatter, earth, heaven, and the culmination, the coming together. Remember Ephesians chapter 1 verse 10, he is going to gather all things in heaven and earth in him. It's all going to come together. The electrons and the positrons are going to come together in full unity. Heaven and earth is going to come together in full unity, and the full manifestation of the Christ man is going to be manifested in the earth. Jerusalem, the new Jerusalem, the city of the great king, is going to be here. The headquarters is going to be in the earth realm, in man's time space, in the time scroll that Adam and earth was cast into at the fall. This was all in the divine mind and wisdom of God, that he uses this time record to establish his eternal kingdom and to dwell with man here in the earth realm.